Guys, another episode of the Ride Along here, and we are talking about something that is absolutely critical, which is that home buyers have more information than ever before. And there's more access, they have more access to it. It's at their fingertips, it's on their phone. ChatGPT is one stroke of the keyboard away. And we as home inspectors, we are the experts. We've always been the experts on the home. But guys, now it's incumbent upon us to find a way to offer even more value as home inspectors to home buyers that need as much information as possible in as short a time frame as possible. So, Matt, this is something that is going to be really heavy for a lot of inspectors to wrap their minds around and get behind this year. But welcome back to the show, man.
Yeah, so I mean, AI and home inspections. I mean, home inspection really hasn't changed much through the years. For our mission is pretty much the same. Help buyers, help them understand homes and everything. But really, what has changed, like you said, is the buyer's availability of information. I mean, even some of the tools. I mean, I got buyers sometimes that show up with their own thermal camera. So I mean, these people are kind of they're watching the videos out there, they're using ChatGPT, and they're kind of figuring out how to do this themselves. And so what we've got to do is we got to stay on the cutting edge of and bring the value behind behind our expertise and everything. We have to make sure that we are steps ahead to make sure that we are more valuable than just your homeowner with ChatGPT and a thermal camera.
Yeah, and better and faster and more knowledge is the name of the game right now. And guys, seriously, if you guys don't get on board with this, you'll be replaced by someone younger and better who is able to do this in a more timely fashion. And honestly, the window of time that the realtors and home buyers will pivot to somebody quote unquote better is shorter than ever. So it's seriously something that you guys need to be thinking about how you can be incorporating AI into your workflows and packing even more information and knowledge than ever into your home inspection and into your home inspection reports. So we're going to be talking about one way to do that, which is an exciting topic that every single home inspector loves, which is code, the thing we're
That's
not
right.
supposed to quote. Yeah.
That's
We're
right.
supposed to,
That's right. Yeah. So we've got Beau Brown back on the show, who was on the show back in 2025, early 2025, I
yeah,
believe.
yeah, last
And
March.
then Karl Stump, and we actually had these guys on in September in New Orleans.
We sure
We did
did.
some live recording, and we talked all about this topic, and we were all excited to get it out at the end of 2025. But now here we are in 2026, and we thought, a great way to kind of get the year started was to bring you guys back on, and let's bring up those topics and really get CodePro out there and let everybody know what it's all about. So, Beau, Karl, welcome to the show, guys.
Happy to be here.
So,
Thanks, Matt. I was thinking about it before the show. I'm actually excited that audio got deleted because I think that it is crazy how fast things are changing right now.
Is it because Beau was so bad at it?
Yeah, Beau was awful. That's part of it. But things are changing so rapidly right now with AI and technology. It's very hard to keep up with. So we're going to be rolling out an even more updated version. I've got a lot of stuff that's new with CodePro and AI that I want to talk about, and that I'm excited to bring to home inspectors out there.
Well, let's just give everybody, we keep saying this word CodePro, but let's just get to the meat and potatoes. What is it? What is CodePro? Let everybody know.
CodePro
who's going to take
Yeah, I know, right? I'll jump in real quick here. Give you a summary. CodePro is an app basically designed for home inspectors, builders, DIYers, anybody that's ever had to worry about a building code or is concerned about the building codes in their profession or just in their, a project that they've got going on. You can ask it questions about the building codes. It's going to give you answers for the code for your specific area, for your specific issue only. And then it's going to tell you why that's a problem and where the most common mistake is. And it's all geared around demystifying code and making it so that it's as easy as possible to get answers that are 100% accurate and on the topic that you need answers on.
Excellent. Okay. So on that topic, as inspectors, at least most of us, I don't know. I mean, you guys are regulated now out there in Utah. Is that correct?
You know
what?
We could
now, or is it headed that direction?
It's headed that direction. We could do a whole podcast on how they haven't quite figured out how they're going to regulate us, but they're going to do it. They've decided that.
but most states are, and so like, with that being said, like it's very clear. I don't know how it is up there, but like in Texas and in a lot of states, it's very clear that as general home inspectors, we are not code inspectors. And so
Yes.
everyone kind of rides that we are not code inspectors. But I mean, so with that being said, like how does having, fast, accurate building code at your fingertips, like how does that benefit home inspectors?
You know what? So you don't have to be able to quote the code and know the code to be able to benefit from understanding that earthquake straps are going to prevent your water heater from dancing around the house when you have an earthquake, which would lead to break in plumbing, which would mean that now a disaster has turned into a flood. And there's a code for that. And if you're a DIYer and you're going, why is this the code? Or, is there a regulation or something for this? If I put it in a different spot in my house, can I skip that? There's a million questions around the code. You don't have to understand what that code is to want to know answers around it. And so that's what this is designed for. It's to give you the answers, not just the code.
Yeah, no,
I think it also comes back to the standard, right?
Yeah.
Building codes are the standard for building. And if you have no standard towards building, how can you keep people safe? Make sure things that are conditionally sound and are functioning properly. How do you determine that? So although we're not quoting code as home inspectors, we still have to abide by a standard. There needs to be something to go back to.
Well,
it's
I
not
think
even just that.
we really need to touch on that, right? Because like when it comes to code, I ask you guys this question, but you guys know, and for those of you watching, I've been using CodePro for a long time now. For several months, you guys have let me use it and kind of get to know it a little bit. I love it. I use it a lot. I use it a lot more than I thought I would. And the thing is a lot of inspectors are like, well, we're not code inspectors, but I mean, at least in states that are regulated, that we had to take the National Home Inspectors exam. And Beau, I know you've taken that as well. What was that all about? Code, right?
Yeah.
Tell me,
Yeah.
if codes aren't part of home inspection, then how come we have to be so knowledgeable on codes to pass a test that most people fail? They actually are a very big part of our job. It's just like you said, Karl, we don't exactly quote code in our home inspection reports, but do we use code to find, problems or to know what is right and what's wrong? Absolutely. We have to be very knowledgeable on code. And as we all know, going through a book is cumbersome, difficult. It's a lot to carry around if you're going to try to carry that thing around.
It's massive.
There's a lot to go through. It's massive. And so to go through and try to interpret it, there's a lot of different things. Sometimes you're looking for something, one piece of code, you might have to visit a couple of different spots inside that book to get exactly what you're looking for. I mean, it's a lot, right? Whereas like, CodePro is an app where you can just speak into your phone and ask it what you want to ask it, and boom, it spits it out. So to those people that say we aren't code inspectors, we don't need this, I beg to differ. You absolutely do need that. Now, I want to talk about something a little bit later that I do to use CodePro to help make some narratives for my home inspection reports. But I want to get into that a little bit later because I know we got some other questions for you guys.
One of the things that I love about this app, seriously, is that it condenses what is a regularly updated document that is hundreds and hundreds of pages long. I mean, it's a Bible that is condensed down to a Bible app for builders, right? And in an age where we've had Kindle and Barnes and Noble had their tablet for books for a long time, there's been digestible ways that we can take the printed word and all the information that we need in any profession and consume it in a very digestible way right here on a device. But we haven't done that for building code, and so you guys have solved for that. This is the Amazon Kindle of building code, and so I think this just makes everybody that much smarter and that more knowledgeable. It also removes the excuse for not knowing it, right? You can't just sit here and take away this whole I'm not supposed to quote it. Boy, you better know it. And you better know it better than the guy who's right down the street from you, who's wanting to do this job for cheaper, if you think you're going to continue to justify your price. Correct. So it's you need to be using these tools, and I love that you guys have put this out there. Seriously. So
like Karl, how does CodePro differ from just like using Google or ChatGPT?
That's a great question. That's actually one of the most common questions that I get personally is, why can't I just use ChatGPT? It searches the whole internet. It'll find the answer for me. And the question and the answer to that question is it's not trained on building code. ChatGPT is great for general knowledge. And you're right. It can search the entire internet. It'll come up with questions, but it's not trained specifically on building code. And furthermore, it's not trained specifically on building codes for your state and local jurisdiction. CodePro is. So it's getting the answers from the right source.
I think this now I think it's story time in the podcast. Do we have some music we can put over this, like some story time music we can drop on this?
Just a little bit to throw in there.
Yeah, just like background, something to kind of get us in the mood. It's story time. So I was actually on the phone the other day with Beau, and I called him. It's going to sound completely off topic.
I'll say goodnight.
It was not at nighttime. It was in the day. It wasn't weird. Don't make it weird. It was during the day, and this is going to seem off topic, but I promise I'll get there. For those of you that don't know, I'm eclectic in my musical tastes. Okay, and one of those things is heavy metal, and Beau is very eclectic in his musical taste too. I actually don't know what all he likes, but I know he's all over the place. So sometimes I bring this to him. But anyway, long story short, I was using ChatGPT because, for those of you who don't know, Megadeth just came out with a new album. It's self-titled. It is excellent, by the way. But they put a Metallica song on the end of that album. They recorded "Ride the Lightning." Okay, that might not seem like it has anything to do with anything, but see, Metallica will sue anybody for anything. They will, if you just like whisper their name in the wrong place, Metallica is going to sue you. And so, why was Megadeth able to release this on their album? I was curious about that, even though I know that Dave Mustaine used to be in Metallica a long time ago. I still was wondering about that. So I asked ChatGPT, why was Megadeth able to release a Metallica song, "Ride the Lightning," on their new album? And ChatGPT told me Megadeth has never recorded and released "Ride the Lightning" on one of their releases, on one of their albums. And to which I told ChatGPT, well, it most certainly has on the 2026 self-titled album. It is the last song. And so I thought that was funny because ChatGPT was just straight up wrong. And then it turned around and it goes, "Oh yeah, you're right." on their self-titled 2026 release, the last song is "Ride the Lightning" by Metallica. And then I went down a rabbit hole of why that happened. But that's why I called Beau, because I was like, we have AI talks all the time, and I was like, check out how wrong this was.
That's where I brought the AI thing into the app, right? Because I started explaining that, that was one of the first problems that Karl and I were talking about when we were trying to figure out what we were going to do something with AI, is that ChatGPT was confidently wrong about code. And it's because it's getting its information from such a broad database on the internet. And there's also people on the internet that are confidently wrong. And so it's going to come back to you with that same level of confidence. And the only way to eliminate that problem is to eliminate the confidently wrong answers or the wrong data pool. And there's nothing else out there that's trained on just one specific data pool here and won't get it wrong. And it's really essential in building code that you get correct answers that are not confidently wrong. And even after we trained it specifically just on building code, there was still a long ways to still get it to give you the correct answer in the correct way. And I mean, Karl could talk in depth about some of the stumbling blocks that we had along the way to try and figure that out.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is that that AI has that problem, right? It can hallucinate. We're not to the point where it's right every single time. And I don't want to mislead anybody to say CodePro is 100% accurate at all times, but it is going to give you the exact code source. And then it's going to give you a link to the website to where you can go up and verify that code. So the question becomes, how confident do you need to be about this code? And half the problem is knowing where to look, right? You got a 1,000-page document, you have a question in your mind. Okay, where do I find it? Well, if you can ask a question, it gives you the source, and then you can go to the document and go right to that source and go, oh, yep, I see it right here. It's right. We verified it. We're good. So how crucial is it? How critical? You decide. If it's a general, I can just get by with this, or I need to take this to court, you may want to have a different process with those two different scenarios.
Now that makes sense. Now, in the way that you guys have gone about training it, I'm also curious in how y'all have gone about updating it. Like, how regularly do you guys retrain it or feed it new information, or is it basically self-taught in terms of updating itself whenever there's a new update to the building code that comes out?
Yeah, so every 3 years, typically there's a code cycle, right? So ICC puts out different codes every 3 years. We actually just went through one in
Hmm.
2025, and it's going to need constant updating. And also, you have local jurisdictions and states that randomly, at their discretion, say, okay, we're going to update it. And so we do searches every month using AI, and we go through and we search all that documentation. One of the biggest I guess, labor intensive tasks of building this was getting all the sources of the code. And depending on what state you're in and what jurisdiction you're in, I mean, you try to go and just find out what code you should be looking at. That in of itself took me months to go through all 50 states and figure that out. And then compile that information. It's all available on our website, codeproapp.com. You can click on your state, find out exactly what's going on. And we do keep it regularly updated.
Yeah, I mean, it is brutal to go digging through code. It really is. And I mean, I've done it for years. And for a long time, I carried around one of those code checkbooks. Y'all familiar with those?
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's kind of like
Yep,
Cliff
they're the
Notes of
greatest.
code. And those were great because it had a lot of stuff. It didn't have everything. And obviously, if they were going to fit a lot of information in this book, they were going to have to summarize it quite a bit. And so it basically just kind of, you got you in the right direction. Sometimes you'd have to get out the book. It would tell you where to go. And then you get out the book and you read the code and kind of dig a little bit deeper. But just having code at my fingertips has changed a lot. And what I was talking about earlier was writing home inspection narratives. So I myself, just like a lot of home inspectors, when I started my company, I purchased a template from a experienced inspector. And so when I started, I had 25 years of experience in narratives already on my system, which is pretty cool because in addition to all of the training that I had, all those narratives came from an experienced home inspector. So it's essentially like another form of training. It really helped me determine not only what I was supposed to be looking at, but how I was supposed to write up what I was looking at, because it doesn't matter. You can have thousands of narratives. You still have to write one every now and again. So it really helped direct me in how to do that. Which is fine. I did that for years. Maybe create because I'm constantly a couple times a week creating something new that something I find that's new or perspective of something or things change. And so codes change or standards change. And so I have to change those narratives. But what I found was after using that for years and using those narratives for years, they kind of became a little bit outdated. And so I would look at them and be like, I can do better than this. And so I developed a method of grabbing, saying whatever the problem is. And this might have been a narrative that I use on, 95% of my reports. But I looked at them sometimes and thought, man, this can be done better. And so I would just, whatever the problem was that I was putting a narrative in for, I just said that problem into CodePro and it spit out everything you needed to know about it, the code reference, why it's a problem, all of that stuff. Then I just copied that into ChatGPT and said, hey, ChatGPT, take this information and summarize it into a narrative for a home inspection report, but remove any code reference because obviously I'm not supposed to quote code, right? But I use the code to create my narrative. And I mean, ChatGPT didn't do anything that I wouldn't have done, but it did it in a much cleaner, much more professional way. And I've been slowly but surely updating a lot of narratives in my library by using that method. So just taking whatever problem I see, and I've been new things too. Take them, run them through CodePro. CodePro gives you accurate information, and then you just run that through ChatGPT and create a narrative.
No, that's awesome, man. That's a smart way to do it.
Well, and beyond being like an inspector, there's a couple of contractors here in Utah that do unique tiny home builds. And I don't know if you guys know a lot about construction constraints when it comes to building those tiny homes, but trying to build a really, really small house and get everything really close together and staying within the confines of code and keeping the things that are supposed to be apart from each other, the appropriate distances, can get really difficult. And there's a couple of contractors that have called me regularly asking for questions around how they should build something in a house. And if I don't know the answer, I can look it up on CodePro and get an answer in about
Man,
30 seconds and look like I'm a freaking genius, man. I know the
Yeah.
code, all the codes, all the time. And here soon, I'm going to be telling those guys, you just need to download the app. Stop calling me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Man,
don't want to take that away from yourself quite yet.
I know, I don't. That's the thing, is like, I
Feels
love
too
being
good.
that guy.
I get it, man. That's been happening to me for years. People ask me construction questions, building questions, code questions. I've been answering these questions for years, but the way I go about doing it these days is different.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot easier to change answers.
I think, to speak back to Brad's point, loop it back to where we started on this thing, was that if you're in business for yourself or you're running a multi-inspector firm, strategic innovation has to be at the top of your list. You have to be innovating in that business. And the only way to innovate is to be developing yourself in new ways and gaining knowledge in different ways. And we're at the cutting edge of that right now. And you have to dig in. You can't just get by going through the paces and showing up every day like you always have. You've got to be learning new things, creating new tools for yourself. And I think that if you're trying to add value as a home inspector, you need to at least know, what are the codes adopted for my state? Because before I started working on CodePro, I've been an inspector for 6 or 7 years, guys. And I'm going to tell you something. I didn't know. What was the codes? Where do I find the amendments? That's sad to say, but I didn't. And I bet there's a lot of inspectors out there that don't know what the codes are or where to find them for their local jurisdiction. Use the CodePro app website, because, to be honest, there wasn't really a good resource for this until we built it. We saw the pain point and we solved it. Know the codes, know where to find them. And that way, when people come to you and they have these questions, you can position yourself as an expert, and then the word spreads about you and you start to set yourself apart from the guys that are just going through the paces and screwing around.
Yeah, no, that's huge, man. And the other thing too that I want to get at, and we were talking about this before we hit record here, Karl. Part and parcel with this is adoption of AI tools as well, which, again, we've done a whole other episode. Matt and Beau almost fought each other through the screen, and then they almost fought each other at Fuel about it, But I feel like, Beau, I kind of feel like Matt's come around a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, I told you it was gonna happen. If you wanted to stay at the front of this, you gotta adopt the AI.
If you guys want to start pulling up old baggage, we can, man.
New year, new you, Matt.
I
think it's great. I think it's great you turned over.
We use it to make ourselves better. What I didn't like is kind of the reason why we're having some of these conversations, is because I feel like this technology, to some degree, is going to empower homeowners to feel like they can do this themselves. And I don't think that's very good. And I'm not saying it from a perspective of I don't want to lose the business. I'm saying it from a perspective of they're not going to be that good at it.
Well, there's a difference between knowing how to find code and knowing how to interpret it and understand.
Yeah, I know. But my whole bit with AI this whole time has been people not understanding that. Like, homeowners not understanding that. And again, like, there's plenty of people out there that want to hire a home inspector. I don't think I'm like losing business over it. What I'm more concerned about are those people that think I can do this myself. I don't need to get that guy in. I don't worry about losing their business. I worry for them.
Yeah,
that's my fear, is that the technology is so at their fingertips that they can go in there and be like, I don't need a home inspector. I'll just go take these pictures and stuff. I mean, and this is just and put them in ChatGPT or whatever, and then I'll do my own home inspection. But I mean, like, just we said it today. It can I mean, maybe not CodePro because of the way it's trained, but like these people that think they can do that, ChatGPT and these AI.
You don't know what you don't know.
It can be wrong. Yeah. And you don't know what you don't know. I mean, I have people all the time that go on my videos and point out things, and they are so, just like ChatGPT, they are so confident and being wrong. They have no idea what they're talking about, but they're so happy to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Those are the people that are going to go do their own home inspection and fail miserably. And I just feel for them, I guess.
Well, and that's the other thing too. I mean, the tools are catching up faster than ever. I mean, I remember it wasn't even 2 years ago, barely a year ago, we were laughing about AI generated images and people having 6 fingers and 3 arms. And now people are making full on AI generated videos, with facial swapping, and it looks very, very real. It's starting to fool some old timers out there that are sharing these things online. But my question is still not foolproof. So, Karl, what is really the biggest incentive for inspectors to start adopting these tools now when they're still not completely foolproof?
Even though they're not, I mean, what is foolproof, to be honest? I mean, even us as home inspectors, we have errors and omissions. We do the best we can. We're human, right? So there are mistakes everywhere. But the thing is it doesn't have to be foolproof to really increase the quality of your business and your ability to create a value for your client. And I've got lots of ways that I do that with AI. And no, it's not perfect, but neither are any of us. And we're still creating value for our clients.
Yeah.
So if you don't get on it now, you're going to be like the old guy that never used the computer and he's just so lost he doesn't know where to start. And that's where you do not want to be. You got to take it one bite at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, I can totally see that because, like, when I'm doing inspections, or when I'm using CodePro, I should say, or CodePro or ChatGPT, whatever it is, any type of AI tool, you have to know what you're asking. And just like the story I was talking to Beau about the other day, I usually already kind of know the answer. I'm just either asking it for verification or specifics. And sometimes, I mean, look, I wouldn't be asking the question if I wasn't already knowledgeable in it. I ask the question in ChatGPT sometimes, it'll spit out the wrong answer. I know enough to know when it's wrong. But that's just because I've been doing home inspections for a long time. I was trained in it. I was trained in code. And so, I know that. ChatGPT, I think when we were working out some bugs, we had some issues with that too, right? Because like I say, I've been using it for months, and I feel like I reached out to you guys one time and went, "Hey, this is wrong." but it was just a bug to work through. But you guys have worked through all this stuff.
Well, it's not going to be 100% never ever infallible. It's not quite to that stage yet, but just to exactly what your example was, I use it all the time for, like, I see that exhaust vent on the side of the house is pretty close to the window. I can't remember if it's supposed to be 36 inches or 48 inches. I know it's one of those two. And if I'm going to call it out and say that it's too close to the window, I'd better know the distance, or I'm going to look like an idiot if it's 48 inches and it's actually 47 inches away, something like that. And so to be able to just quickly whip out CodePro and be like, hey, how far is an exhaust vent supposed to be from an opening window? And it just spit out the answer. I knew that code existed, but I now can quickly verify, oh yeah, this is the exact number and the exact regulation. And yes, and if it changed, I will get the update on it. A great example of that is you used to have the occupant door in the house in Utah, from the garage to the house. The regulation said that it had to be self-closing, and then it changed it to self-latching. And then Utah completely omitted that sentence. And so now there is no code in Utah for your occupant door from your house to garage to be self-closing or anything like that. It just has to be weather sealed. And that's it. There's and fire rated. But the self-closing, self-latching thing, which still exists in other states all over the place, doesn't exist here. And as an inspector, if you walk in from out of state and call that out as a regulatory action, everybody here is going to go, "You're an idiot, man. That's not code." And it's because they removed that.
That's the big thing with CodePro is it's looking at the international documents and then it's cross-referencing the amendments, and it's prioritizing the amendments per your particular area. And that's where people get hung up. Okay, maybe there's a regulation in the 2021 IRC, but what does the amendment document say and how does it amend that code to your particular area? That's really important because you can get yourself in trouble by saying confidently that like you said, confidently wrong. You shared a use case, Matt. I'll share one with you. I had just yesterday with a client buying a $15 million house in Hawaii. Okay, because I run a home inspection too. And I'm doing the app thing on the side, really. I mean, $15 million house in Hawaii. They're building it. Called me up, said, "Hey, yeah, I hear you're the guy to go to. We're building the house. We want to make sure we get the phase inspections." And now he's consulting with me. So he said, "Hey, I got this message from the builder. They want to bury the AV codes if I can't come up with exactly where I want them terminated and exactly what I want hooked up." But he said, I have a feeling they're in cahoots with the AV company, and they're trying to push me to get this stuff done and get more money out of me. And he said, I don't feel good about this, and I don't know enough about code, but it just doesn't sound right. Can you look into this for me? And so quickly with AI, I was able to solve that problem, whereas it would have taken me freaking half a day to research all that before. I typed I literally took his email thread from his builder, dropped it into ChatGPT and said, summarize this. And it gave me a summarization. I dropped that into CodePro, asked it the question, gave it back to ChatGPT, told it to make me up an email to the guy. I sent him an email. I read it. I'm like, this is the most professional thing. It had the code quotes, everything in it. And it totally put the builder to shame, really. And it's like, I wasn't beating up on the builder, because I know we've talked a lot about that. It's like, I'm not here to beat up on the builder, but I said, hey, make sure you go to the builder and say, where can you tell me where you're getting this information that we need to have these terminations? And because the builder was saying they couldn't terminate it to a junction box with a cover plate. AV, low voltage. Why can't it? And we wanted to dispel that. So I asked them, where are you getting this information? Can you cite a code? Can you tell me if you've had issues with the county inspector? What's going on? And then it's like, you're not saying you're wrong. You're just saying, give me the information I need, put them on the spot a little bit. But that's just a really great use case. And then I go looking like the expert to this guy. You think he's not going to tell his friends about me when they're buying a house and getting things built, especially with that lightning quick response?
That's not if you made him look bad, man. No way. He's not going to tell anybody. No, I think that's totally true, man. I mean, being able to, formulate a response, like an irrefutable response. And I think you brought up a good point, like something we want to talk about anyway. Builders can use this too. This is not a home inspector's app. Like this is an app for builders, tradesmen, real estate professionals, home inspectors. I mean, there are a lot of people that could benefit from access to accurate code information at their fingertips.
One thing that I want to talk about, though, is because Karl, you were already talking about your home inspection company in Hawaii. One, how do you manage that remotely? That's massive, man. I mean, because last time we talked to you, you were in Montana. But on top of that, how can readily accessible code information like this really help to make for a more unified team when you're running a multi-inspector firm?
Great question. I'll spend sometimes a month or two away from my business, and it runs very efficiently. It runs efficiently due to systems and processes. And to be completely honest, most of the systems and processes that I have put in place, I have used AI. I got really passionate about AI as soon as it came out, and I've been using tools to just systematize everything. But to speak on how it's changed, how CodePro specifically has changed my business, I used to get 5 calls a day from my inspectors saying, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what about this? They're asking me questions, and I'm basically just consulting with them. Now I say, CodePro has a team subscription, right? So you can sign up your whole team under one subscription. So the business owner pays for it, sends everybody an email, they sign up. Now all my guys are on it. You know how many calls I get a day? It's like basic questions about like, how should I organize the report? I don't get code questions anymore. And my guys are accurate and confident in their answers because they're using it on a daily basis. I can go in and look at their history and see what they're chatting about. It's kind of fun.
No, that's cool.
And I don't have a team subscription. I got to talk to you guys about that. I got to get my team on it. I'm still the go-to guy to ask questions. I need to get my team on it. But,
we need at least 3 videos a month. You'll get a team subscription for free. All right.
There you go.
Let me step in here before Karl starts giving things away. All right.
You know who handles the business relations there, the influencer relations.
Well, I mean, that's the deal, man. Like we're over here talking about this, but I mean, like I've been using it in the field for months, and I really, I can speak from a user perspective. I mean, you guys are my friends, but I mean, I'm not getting paid to do this, right? You guys were like, "Hey, can you test this out?" I was like, "Yeah, let me test it out." And if it sucked, I would tell you it sucked, but it just doesn't, man. It's been really cool
Well,
to use.
let me interrupt you for a second. Karl might kill me for doing this, but do you have a complaint about it? Because there's an update coming out here very, very soon, and that whatever complaints you might have might even be getting solved. But I just want to know: do you have a complaint about it? Is there something you wish it would do better from a
No,
home inspector point of view?
I can't think of anything.
Man, and
I,
you're
I,
super critical. You're like a home inspector or
a
something,
lot of
man.
the
It's
things
like your
that I had
job.
already brought up to you guys. Like at one point, you couldn't select text out of it and copy it and paste it. That was a thing that you couldn't do in the beginning, and that got solved. Um, uh, I can't think. There's been a couple of little bugs and stuff here and there that I was like, hey, what about this and that? I mean, I've told you guys any type of constructive criticism I have.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't know what there is to improve.
Man,
Excellent.
that's huge.
Excellent. Yeah. So, and that's basically what we think we are too. We're last time we talked when we were at inspection fuel, it was right at that crucial edge of like, okay, we've pretty much got most of the bugs figured out. We're pretty much ready to roll out. It's rollout. We're done.
Yeah.
And it's time to rock and roll with this thing. All the bugs are fixed. As you can attest, somebody who's been beta testing for a while for us, we've really been plugging away trying to create something that's more than just another AI plugin. This is something that is designed to solve a real pain point for a lot of people. And just like you said at the beginning, when I first started using it, I didn't realize how useful it was and how much I was going to start using it. And I was on the
Right.
exact same page, and we built the thing.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even say we. Karl has been the man, the myth, the legend here in doing all of this. I'm just the guy that thought it was really, really cool and is happy to market it. But it's an excellent app, and it's going to be really, really beneficial, I believe.
Well, I think
Yep.
that's a key difference you brought up between previous conversations we've had about this app and now is that it is actually available. So
Yeah.
this isn't like something that's coming up. This is something you can get right now. So tell everybody how they can access that.
It's live on the App Store. It doesn't matter. You got Android, you got Apple. It doesn't matter where you're looking right now. You just need to get in there and search CodePro. It's the one with the little yellow house. Hard to miss it. And then once you
Cool. Looks
download
like a
it, it's
Porch
got a great
logo.
walkthrough process. It'll explain to you how the app works, and you can start barreling in and start asking questions right away. Get a chance to figure out and if you really, really like it. And I guarantee, after giving it a try for a little while, you're gonna find a million different reasons to start pulling it out and going, is that code or is that or how far was that supposed to be exactly? I can't remember that, but I have the answers now, and they're easy to get to, so I'm going to ask them.
Yeah. Search CodePro app. That'll get you there a little closer. And if you want direct link to the App Store app, you just go to codeproapp.com, and then you can just click Android or Apple, and it'll take you right to the App Store, and you can download it. And I agree with Beau. It's like I didn't know how curious I was about code until it was so easy to look up. I'm on like new builds or specialty inspections, and I'm like, how many are there nail plates supposed to be over those electrical wires, and what's the distance from the nail plate to the wire? And you're just looking up all these little things where it's like you're not quite confident on it, and you can ask those questions and get really good results really quickly.
Yeah, you're better than the eye test at this point.
Now,
Now, are you
when I
guys
first
running
started using it, I would ask it just dumb questions I knew the answer to, just to see, dumb questions about windows and window height and stuff like that. I remember asking it that several times, just getting it and like trying to figure out how to take that and put that into ChatGPT like I do, whatever, like trying to get my process down, but just kind of testing it out, see how it works.
I think everybody does that. Everybody, the first couple of things they do is like, I'm going to ask it a question I know the answer to, just to see if it gets it right. I'm trying to trick it with an answer I know,
I remember thinking in the beginning, like, damn, I hope these guys can't see this because I'm like, where is GFCI required? Like I totally know the answer to that, and then like spits out the answer and I'm like testing it, So I was like, God, I hope they can't see my questions.
So another question I got. First of all, are you guys offering any specials for anybody? Is this a subscription-based platform? And are you guys running any specials at the launch right now that people should know about?
If you guys are looking for a way to download the apps, you're interested in with it, what you can do is use the Ride Along affiliate code. We're going to have that somewhere in the thingy around here that you guys can click on. And then, of course, if you want to go to the website and kind of take a look at it and get a chance to download it from there as well, you can. For now, we're running a special where you're going to get some discounted tokens at the beginning. That is a temporary discount for a little bit. So please get in, download the app, check it out. We are going to be removing that. Yep, we are. It's while it lasts.
Ride Along is all capital letters. So when you go to sign up for the app, you can just type that into the affiliate code field, and it'll take you there.
You heard it here first, guys. It's going to be down in the show description. We'll put the link, and then we'll put the code down there as well. So be sure to go check it out. This is huge, guys. I'm excited for y'all, man.
It's huge.
Seriously, we've gone from Beau. We talked about this last year. It was in concept. We talked about it at Fuel. It was in development, and here we are at launch, guys. I'm excited for y'all. Congratulations.
It's been a big pain point for, I know, a lot of people is just not understanding codes. I've got now builders, electricians, plumbers that are coming to me. It's funny when the builders and the plumbers and the electricians are asking you code questions, because I have that happen when I'm on new builds. They'll come up to me, hey, can you answer this question? Because I don't know. And I bust out CodePro right in front of them, and I start asking questions, and it gives me the answer with the amendments. And they're like, what's that? I'm like, it's CodePro app, man. It's like, believe it or not, home inspectors are the authority and they are the experts. Even though we're not code inspectors, people look at us that way, and they're going to be asking these questions. So it solves the problem for a lot of people, and that's why I'm very excited about it. It just adds a lot of value to the building industry, because we all need to be better.
Yeah,
we all need to be better.
Absolutely, man. No, that's huge. Now, I have one other question for you guys about it, because you mentioned at the top of the show using code specifically in, say, a court case if you're called as a professional witness. Does CodePro need to go through any sort of state verification or registration to be considered a verified code source platform or something like that? Or is there any liability involved in using it for anything other than citing or sourcing code?
Yeah, good. That's a good question, Brad. We should touch on it. Certainly, if you're going to be taking things to court or in some type of legal fashion, I would go straight to the code document. CodePro is a great resource. It helps everybody to understand code better, but there's nothing that supersedes the actual code source, which is either going to be your ICC code document, or it may be the NEC in some cases, the fire code, and then of course your state or local jurisdictions amendments. Those are going to be your official sources. It's just referencing those. It's like me going to a friend who is an expert in a particular topic and saying, hey, can you tell me a little bit about this? And then them regurgitating it to me.
CodePro can tell you where to go find all that.
That's what I was going to say.
That's the beauty of it.
Every single time you ask it a question, it will give you a link. You hit the link. At the end of that link is the document that you're looking for that is referencing. And so if you are going to be doing the court case, right? You ask it the question referencing your court case. It gives you a link. You click the link. You now have access to the document that you're referencing for your court case, and you look like an authority with a lot less work. This is the thing it's solving for people. You're getting these answers with ease, and that was one of the primary reasons why, as a home inspector, I didn't know as much code as I do now, is because I would just tell myself, well, you're not a code inspector. And the honest truth behind that was, it's a pain in the ass to look it up and figure out whether or not I'm even right on the right topic, on the right page, in the right document, in the right place, in the right state for the right amendment, and that's all solved now. Why wasn't it easier before? We have the technology to do it. Why wasn't it in a phone before? Like, if you looked at all the options before now, they were terrible. So this solves a big problem.
And if you don't know where to look for code and you don't know anything about code for your state, like I said, CodePro app website, we took almost a year to develop it. That is the greatest resource that exists on the internet for state-specific building code. I know, because I spent almost a year searching the internet for state-specific building code. You can go, I created my own basically organization process around code. There's 3 different levels. You have state adopted code, you have local adopted code, and then you have a hybrid type model. So when you go to your state's page, it will tell you Are you state adopted, local, or hybrid? And then explains what that is. And then it has a link, like Beau was saying, to all the code documents, including your state specific amendments and where to find those. Because like I was searching for state specific amendments for Utah, for example, it's so buried in legal documents within state websites and government bureaucracy. It's ridiculous how difficult it is to find documents that we all need access to be safe and to build well. But we're trying to make it more accessible.
No, you guys are doing an amazing job with it, seriously. And again, this is it's important for all of us, a little bit of a pivot here. It's important for all of us as inspectors to be experts on all things building, even if, we're not actively or have never been active as construction experts or, laborers in any way, shape or form in building a home. We got to know about it. Right. But that goes into knowing about not just the code, but also materials. And Matt, I want to pivot because there's something pretty cool coming up that we're going to be at here in a couple of weeks.
That is correct. It's got an acronym that is maybe not so favorable, but
I laugh every time I see it. Yeah,
we're going to IBS, the International Builder Show.
Yes,
I'm super excited about that. I've been going. This will be my 4th year in a row to go to that show. Beau, you were there with me last year.
I'm gonna be there next time it's in Vegas.
That's next year. So yeah, this year's in Orlando, Florida. This is the last year for Orlando. This show kind of just belongs in Vegas. But yeah,
it's CES for all things construction.
What's that?
It's a CES for all things construction. It's a consumer electronics show. Yeah,
that's pretty much filled up that convention center when I was there for it. That's where it fits.
It's just insane. And it's a really, I first went there about 4 years ago, and I thought to myself, first of all, I was completely overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought to myself, what is an inspector doing here? Sashko brought me out there, and it took me a whole day to figure out what I was doing there. And then I figured out, like, wow, there's so much to learn here. There's more to learn here. I learned more from going there and learning about new products and talking to some of the people that are, involved in them than I do with any inspector C or the most inspector Cs. I mean, I've already learned all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if I can go to, to places like the Builder Show and feel, learn about what's more going on inside the walls, about up and coming products, I'll go and see products pop up on new construction. And it's like, oh yeah, I know about that. I've seen that. I've seen that in action. I've seen I know the people that make that product. There's a lot of that to be had out there. This is probably the biggest one, builders show every year. And, man, it's fantastic. I am super excited. Hold on. I got some stuff. I'm giving away some really cool stuff at the show.
Matt,
one of those guitars? You giving away one of your guitars?
Yeah, he's giving away the
I'll take one of those.
It couldn't be this, could it?
That's one of them. Yeah, that's one of them. Also, I got a couple of booth appearances. One of them is at the Owens Corning booth. I've got these really cool hats that are designed just for the Florida show.
Those are awesome.
And I got Owens Corning lumber on the side. Somewhere around here, I have another one for the Fusion Air. You guys, that's a really cool product. But I got some co-branded hats with them. So I got 100 Owens Corning hats. I got 100 Fusion Air hats. And then that comic book, which Beau, you were showing. You can show them the comic book. The Adventures of Inspection Man. Oh, you got it back there. Hold on.
I know. It's back here. Hey, I got it. But I'll mail this back for one of the hats. Do I get one of the hats if I mail this back?
You can trade that.
I'm not giving you a hat, Beau.
I'm gonna get a signed copy of this comic book.
I only let you have one of these because you're in it. Beau makes a cameo in it. Where are you? Here's Beau.
Matt, I love that you have your own comic book, dude. Who did you get to do these comic books for you? This is awesome.
Funny how this ties in.
AI, right?
AI. Who illustrated it or who printed it?
No, that was what you used to produce it. Yeah.
Well, how'd you produce it?
Illustrated by ChatGPT.
There you go.
I literally just every picture in here was made by ChatGPT, and then I as far as making it, I just started Googling companies that do that stuff, and the one that came up was, I think they're called Mixam, and yeah, so they weren't cheap, and they actually turned out way better than I even need them to be. thicker paper and everything. Yeah, these will be available at the
They're
Sash.
cool looking, man.
And so I'm going to have you guys, if y'all follow me here in the next day or so, I'm going to put together a sheet that shows all the booths I'm going to be at and what I'm going to be giving away and stuff. And also, I heard that Owens Corning Lumber, in addition to the hats that I have, they are going to be giving away a thermal camera.
Ooh.
By
While
Fleer
or by Fleer? What is it?
It's a Fleer.
Yeah, I gotta say, Matt, if you have a man cave and you don't have it's not supposed to do that comic book in your man cave, you're just doing it wrong.
That's right.
I'm doing it right. I'm doing it right.
Yeah. There you go. But the thing is, the cost isn't even all that much for IBS. The cost isn't even all that much for IBS. It's only like $195 still. So I would highly recommend, if you're a Florida home inspector and spitting distance of Orlando, that you show up. Seriously, go ahead, get registered, come on out. And again, like you said, Matt, it's going to be really cool to start seeing stuff that's being actively produced right now that we're going to all start seeing in the field here in short order. So.
Hey, and Beau can attest, and not that I'm like, I don't work for the International Builder Show, so I mean, it doesn't matter. I want you to go because I want you to get the knowledge, but also Beau can attest that like it is a mecca for content if you're a content creating home.
Oh my gosh.
Or just a content creator, period, in regards to like homes at all.
Or just networking. Like
totally. The networking is really my favorite part.
Yeah, even if it's like, so it's just such a great conglomeration of things. You get to learn about all the new products that are coming out, and that like all of the new stuff they're going to be putting on houses, so that as you're walking through new construction, you see something new, you go, oh, I've seen that. I saw the company that's making that stuff. Got to talk to them about how it's made and how to apply it. These guys aren't even installing it right because I saw how to install it correctly at the show.
Yep.
And then while I was there, I met Hydroblock, which is a company here in Utah that's manufacturing exterior sheathing that's waterproof. And it's like staged to be the next replacement for most of the exterior sheathing on the commercial buildings here in the state of Utah. And I know the guys that are running that company now and met them and started networking. So just the connections and network that you can develop by going to an event like that is priceless.
That's
even
fantastic,
if it's not going to benefit you directly, your trade directly. If it has anything to do with construction, it does. You're just thinking wrong.
Totally.
Love it. And Karl and Beau, thank you so much for being here. It's been good to see you guys again. Always awesome to talk with y'all, just in general, but always so great to have you both on the show, truly.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad. Really appreciate it. If anybody wants to get hold of Beau or I think everybody probably knows Beau from Instagram. If you want to get a hold of me, you got questions about CodePro or AI, you could reach out via info@codeproapp.com. And we keep up with our emails, so shoot me a message anytime.
Go ahead and throw your handle out there too, in case one or two people want to follow you.
Nobody knows about me. I'm home inspector _ Salt Lake. And I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and I've got a budding YouTube page called Homeowners University.
Hey, good stuff, man. That's awesome.
And you also ride skis behind horses in flamboyant jackets, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I do ski journing professionally here at the Pro Ski Jor circuit, and it's a kind of a Northwest America thing. Montana, Idaho, and Utah, they got the circuit. So my company sponsors me as a pro in that event, and I have crashed at every event I've been to so far. So I'm doing great this year, guys.
Hey, that's good stuff, man. Here's to staying on your feet in this competition, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to throw it out there real quick, guys. CodePro app has developed a new tool for doing solar inspections.
Ooh.
So I'm just saying, if you guys want to start to monetize all the solar panels that are on these people's roofs and really add value to your clients in that way, we've rolled it out in Hawaii. We're doing very well with it. A lot of people are adding it on. It's $350 an inspection. It takes us 30-45 minutes to do it. That information is at solar.codeproapp.com.
Dude, that's huge for Florida home inspectors.
Yeah. It
I'm
could be
gonna check
used
it
for
out.
Florida for sure.
Yep.
Right on.
Very cool, guys. Well, we appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Matt, good to see you as ever. I'll see you down in Orlando. And thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see y'all next time right here on
The Ride Along.
Got It.
Thanks, boys.